2,000 years later.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, it has been about 5 months. When I started back in January posting on YouTube, I had set myself a goal of 2 videos a week, and I did that for the first month, and it just turned out to be unsustainable. So to me, if I tried posting any less than that, it was a failure. So I just stopped altogether. And at the time, I found myself falling out of love with lifting, which was the whole reason I started a channel in the first place. So I just stopped altogether and put my focus back on lifting rather than what should my video be about this week, or running out of time to edit and film things. As the months have gone on, I finished my meet prep, I did the meet, we'll get into all of these things. I kind of got the itch to want to post again, but this time I'm going to do it without a schedule. So my goal will be 2 to 3 videos a month on whatever days that is, whenever a video is ready or I feel like posting. I think not having a strict schedule will still allow me to be creative and share my journey, but without making it overwhelming. So in this first video back, I want to kind of pick up where I left off, which is how the rest of my meet prep went. The meet was in April. As you can tell by the title, prep didn't go as planned. I'm going to do a full video on the meet recap as well as what I'm doing now. I've actually changed quite a bit in my training. I'm self-programming now, and I may have just hit a bench PR on my birthday. So some pretty big news to share with you here in the future. But as of my last video, I was in week 3 and I was in a really bad place. I had found myself looking back and comparing all of my numbers to the last time I had ran the Brennan Teeth program. And I think in all of my videos, I mentioned it at least once, compared to the last time I ran this program, blah, 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 whatever. And while that sometimes can be motivational, but I was basically overshooting every week on RPE, which was pretty much just setting me up for failure. I went into all of that in my percentage versus RPE video, just explaining how your actual max can fluctuate day to day and for different reasons, and just to kind of take what you have for that day. So trying to constantly beat the same week from the last time every time, it just led to a disaster. The first block ended with a top set of 5 for squat and bench at RPE 9 and a set of 3 at 8 on deadlift. So for squats, I ended with 235 for 5, which was 5 pounds under my best 5. But I was really happy with how these moved. The back downs were 3 times 5 at 215 in an AMRAP, and I had gone 8 on the AMRAP, which ties my best at 215. So all in all, squats went okay. Bench was so weird. 140, I wrote in my notes to myself, it felt like RPE air. 145 felt like cement. I'm glad I only took that 5-pound jump, and I had planned on going up from that, but when I saw how 145 went, I just called it there. The back downs were at 140 plus the AMRAP, and I did 1 set of 5 and called it there. Deadlift, unfortunately, was the biggest heartbreak for me. I only worked up to a triple at 285, which is well below what I should have been able to do. It looks better than it felt, but I just knew I couldn't go any heavier. I'm gonna insert a picture of my paper here. I basically gave up that week. I used the rest of the week as a deload. I don't even really remember what I came out here and did. But I came into block 2 with a new mindset, and this is the week that I decided to stop posting on YouTube. I also deactivated my Instagram and went back to my social media free life that I've had for like the last 3 to 4 years. And that's really how I like it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna reactivate my Renee Reps Instagram or not. I know having the Instagram might help boost my channel if it gets it out there for more people to see, but I need to find that balance. I really like not being on social media, other than, I guess, if you count YouTube. Moving into block 2, I'm not gonna bore you going week by week and talking about all my other movements, the high bar, squats, Larson, and pause beltless deadlifts. So I'll just tell you how this block ended. For for the whole block, it was triples for squats and bench and doubles for deadlifts. So squats, I ended with the absolute highest set of 255. It was a rep PR for me, so they definitely weren't to depth, but I was just happy with the fact that I moved that weight. Again, bench and deadlift left little to write home about. I went for 160 for 3 on bench. That's the weight I was hoping to get at the meet because that would have given me state record. It's what I had missed at the meet prior to that in September. I'm going to play the whole clip so you can see the audio, but the song that was playing is the song that's in my channel trailer. It's my Kids and I song from Dude Perfect. So when that came on, I was pretty amped up about it. You've heard me talk before about how music motivates me. And the first 2 went really well. They look like, oh yeah, I definitely had a third, but bench is sneaky like that, and we only ended up with 2.
This is how legends are made. Like getting stronger.
So if that wasn't bad enough, I only worked up to 295 for 2 on deadlifts. You can just see by the video how I approach the bar, how I walk away from the bar. I was just defeated. I'm gonna put in a clip of the week prior where I did 290 for 2, and you can just see the drastic difference. So I don't think the 295 for 2 really showed what I was capable of, but I was just absolutely defeated. So at this point I was going to the final block and was about a little over a month out from the meet, and all of the lifts were singles. So I knew this was time to like really push things, had to get serious in this last month. So it started off decent. My first week I did 240 squat, 151 bench, and 310 deadlifts. But the second week is where things finally felt like they were starting to fall into place. 250 on squats was the best it had felt. Bench, I worked up to 156, and I had been touch and going my bench, but on all of my back downs and the other accessory days, I was focusing more on the pauses just to get used to that for the meet. Deadlift finally took off. I hit 320, which again, this was the best it had felt, and it's the heaviest that I had hit since like December. So being almost a month out now at this point, I was on cloud 9. I'm like, oh, I have all these weeks left to keep increasing. Looking back where I was, even though I had run a different program going into my September meet, I felt like I was way ahead of the game going in to this week. The following week, I worked up to 255 for a squat single. It's high AF, and you can see in the video I kind of shake my head on the way up, like I knew it didn't move like it should. Bench was a little shaky at 157. It kind of barely touched my chest. Deadlift, I got 315. It was supposed to be an RPE 6, and I wrote LOL on my paper. So that is what it is. That takes us to 2 weeks up, 2 weeks out, which was supposed to be the last heavy week before we move into the taper week where we work up to openers and lead into the meet from there. So my goal was to work up to squat and deadlift what I thought would be my second attempts, and then bench just as heavy as I could for that day. So the second attempts I was planning were going to be what I ended my last meet with. So that was 259 on squats and 325 on deadlifts. So 250 for squats. After how that moved, I had absolutely zero business loading 260, but I did it anyway. And that was the first time I had failed a squat. I actually looked back in over a year, like where I had to bail on it. So that was kind of disappointing. Bench actually went decent for all of the lifts, for bench to be the one that shined. I did 150 and 160 with a little pause, so I decided to keep going. 165 wasn't there. But I wasn't overall mad at that one. The next day was deadlifts, and looking back, I had blamed this on my grip at the time, but I honestly don't think I could have even grinded it out. My husband was out here with me, and if he hadn't been, I would have tried it again. I've done that many times where I'll try lift 1 or 2 more times after I fail it, and it has worked sometimes. But he kind of talked me off the ledge and said, just take a few days, come back and try it again. And that's exactly what I did. And I got my revenge on 325, which put me in a much better place going into taper week, and kind of where we'll start off the next video. In that video, I will get into how I picked my openers, setting everything up for the taper week, how the taper week went, making weight, and then obviously how the meet went as well. So that's all to look forward to in the next video. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for more content from a garage gym, powerlifting mom, showing you that you don't have to be the strongest to be strong. Thanks. Bye.